Begin today at the Mishnah on Daf Kuf Mem Gimel Amud Beis. Hiniach Banim. Sagt the Heilige Mishnah. Hiniach Banim Gedolim Uketanim. A person dies and he leaves sons that all inherit him, but there are older sons and then there are Ketanim, children, little children. Now Hishbicho Gedolim Misanachasim. The older ones came and improved the properties. So Hishbicho Le'emtza. Whatever it is that they improved is Le'emtza. It's all going to be shared. The improvement is shared by everybody. It's not just for themselves. We're on Kuf Mem Gimel Amud Beis. Got it? What? Kuf Mem Gimel Amud Beis. All right, you want to show them? Hishbichu le'emtza. So whatever they improved, the Mishnah, whatever they improved is going to be shared by everybody. Because what we're talking about over here is, before the Yerusha was split, so whatever is being improved is still a property that is shared by everybody. So even though the Gedolim were the ones that improved it, but everybody is going to share this. However, im omru, if the older children that improved it said clearly, Ru'u ma sheniach, see what our father has left over. Harei ana oisim va'oichlin. We are going to come and work in this, and we're going to eat from it, from what we are going to improve. So then, hishbichul atzma, whatever they improved will be for themselves, because they made it clear that they're only doing this in order to gain for themselves. There's a machlekes rishonim about this. When it says that what they improved, they keep for themselves, some Rishonim say this only refers to if they improved half of it, a certain portion that would belong to them. So even though in the first part of the Mishnah we said that what's improved here is shared by everybody, the reason is because the inheritance wasn't divided yet. So even if they only improved one half, but because it wasn't divided, so whatever they'll improve is going to go to everybody. But over here, once they make that clear, even if they improve just one half, so that half, whatever improvement, whatever gain there is here, will go to themselves. Other Rishonim say, Taisvis, the Rosh say that even if they're going to go and work in the entire property, not just in the chelik, in one half, even if they do work and they improve everything, and there's even a portion that belongs to the Ketanim as well, but nevertheless, now, once they say this, it goes all for them. This is considered to be mechila. That once they say this and the Ketanim can't do this work, and they're the only one, they're older and they're able to do this work, and they're doing it for themselves, and they made it clear, they made this announcement, so then the Ketanim are moichel, and whatever shvach, whatever gain there is, it goes for themselves. V'cheina isha, similar, when there's a woman, this person's wife, she'esh bichas anachasim, that she came and improved the properties, so the same halacha applies. Ishbicha le'emtza. When she improves any of these properties, whatever improvement she brought will be shared by everybody. It's not just for herself. Im amra, but if she comes and says, Ru'u ma shenichli baili, see what my husband left me, harei ani aisa va'echeles, what I'm doing, I'm going to eat and for myself, then ishbicha la'atzma. Then whatever she improves will be for herself. Sagt the Gemara, Rav Chavive bereider Rav Yosef bereider Rav Mishmeider Rav. So this is a grandson of Rav Chavive. So he said in the name of Rav, Lo yishanu ela sheshavchu nechasim machmas nechasim. When it says over here in the Mishnah that when the older sons came and improved it, that what's improved is going to be shared by everybody, this is in a case where the improvement of the properties is coming from the properties itself. For example, the older sons, let's say there's a property, and there's workers that are hired in this property that are part of, the workers are all part of the Yerusha. And now the older sons had the workers continue doing their work. They continued doing their work like when the father was alive, and therefore it brought growth and it brought an improvement in the property. But the sons themselves did not work themselves. They did not invest any of their own money. It's just that the properties themselves was mashbiach from what it has in it. So then we say it's shared by everybody. But if the properties were improved because of themselves, that they themselves did work here, they invested themselves, then ishbichul atzmam. Then whatever they improved will go to them, to these older children that improved the property. So the Gemara asks on this, Any, is this true? But Va'omer Rab Chanina. Rab Chanina said, Afilu lo hiniach lam aviyem ela udyaini. Even if their father left them just an udyaini, which is a pit that is made to store water in it with a cover. Haschar le'emtza. So whatever profit they can make from this pit that's to store water will be shared by everybody. Now, what is this pit that stores water used for, and what's the work that has to be done, and how could you make money off of this? So the Gemara says, V'hod yaini. This pit of water, the machmas atzma here, this is something that they themselves have to work here, because what's done with this pit of water is, it's made for storage of water. and you can use it for people that want to drink water from it and want to store their water in it. But you have to have somebody that's going to guard this pit all the time, day and night, that the water should be good, fresh, clean, drinking water. So they're going to have to stand there and guard it. So what did Rab Chanina say here? That even regarding this pit of water, where the older sons are going to be standing there and guarding it, but yet any profit that's made from this will be shared by everybody. So how could you say that if they have to work themselves, then they keep the profit for themselves?
But it came with the property from the father.
Again, what?
The original water pit came from the father.
Yeah, this is the inheritance.
With the property.
Yeah. So the Gemara answers, Shani udyaini delin tirusu davida. Over here, when it comes to this water pit, so what is it made for? The work that has to be done for this, there's no major complicated work to be done here. All you have to do is someone has to stand there as a guard. You just have to see to make sure that everything is fine, that there's no one is tampering with the water. So even the children are also able to stand there and guard it. So therefore, in such a case, even if they're not saying clearly that we want to keep this for ourselves, or since this is something that even the children are able to do, so if they're coming and grabbing and doing this work, they should have to come and clarify and say that we're doing this only because we want to keep it for ourselves. If they're not clarifying that, so then it's understood that this is something that the children could have done, and they went and are doing it themselves, but they're only doing it because they're going to share it with everybody else. But Mashenkin, when you're talking about a field where you have to plant properly and there's other kinds of work that the Ketanim can't do, so over here, if they come and invest themselves, it's understood that they're doing it for themselves. Okay, going to the next part of the Mishnah, it said, Omru, if...
That's on the chilek, if it's investing for itself or they're putting in money to invest, that's the chilek.
But no, here the Gemara is adding another chiluk. Right. It depends if it's something that the Ketanim could do. If it's something that the Ketanim could do, so then they're going to have to share it with them as well. Amru, and the Mishnah said, what if these sons, the older sons, come and say, Ru'u ma shehiniach Abba. See what our father has left us. We're doing and we're working here. So here when they made this announcement, so then they're making it clear that they're only investing their own effort or their own money for their own gain. And they're not going to share that with the other brothers. So the Gemara brings Rav Safra, Shavak Avu Zuzi. Rav Safra, his father left over Zuzi, valuable properties. Shaklinu, he took this Zuzi, or he took the money, and Avid Buiska, he invested it, he worked on it and invested into a business. Now Asa Achi, the other brothers came, Tavu Bedina. They brought him to Din Teire, Kameda Rava, in front of Rava, that the gain, the profit that was made from this should be shared with everyone, even though he went and invested it himself. He didn't make this announcement that it says in our Mishnah that I'm taking it, whatever I'm doing is going to be for myself. Amalu Rav Safre, Amaluhu, so Rava that is said to the other brothers, Rav Safre Gavre Rabahu. Rav Safre is a great person. What does he do? He learns Torah all day. Leishavik Girsei v'tarach lachrini. He would not leave his learning and go and invest in this just for the sake that he's going to share with everyone else. If he did this, if he took all for his learning, it must be that he did this because he wanted a gain for himself. Okay, so now the Rashbam clarifies, this is a case where he went and did work on his own, and we said before, any time that one brother is doing and investing work on his own, even without making any announcement, automatically, whatever is profit comes from this, you keep. So why did the Gemara have to say this? So the Rashbam says that the kind of investment that he did, which was just to sell, to buy, wasn't much investment on his behalf. It's not like a field where you have to sit and work and plow and plant. So this is something that is considered to be that the Nechasim, they make profit, the profit comes from itself. And therefore, really, he should have had to share it with everyone else. But here the Gemara says, even without the announcement, a person like Rav Safra, it's self-understood that he's only doing this because the profit is going to be for himself. And the Mishnah brought the case of a Isha, a wife. Isha she'ishbicha sanachasim, ishbicha la'atzma. A wife that comes and is working in the properties, whatever she brings again will go. La'emtza, that is. That will the profit will be for everybody. So just saying, like the case with the older brothers. So first the Gemara asks, Isha benichse yasmi maya vidita. What's the case here? A wife or a mother from the other Yisayimim, she doesn't inherit. How is she b'chlal working? And she's saying that whatever she works will be la'emtza for herself. She doesn't inherit b'chlal. Rabbi Yirmiyah says, "Be'isha yireshes." In a case where this is a wife that does inherit, Okay, so there are different possibilities for this. The Rashbam, the Rishonim bring different possibilities of how it's possible that a wife does inherit when her husband dies. The simplest case would just be when a husband, before he died, he said he's giving part of the properties as a gift to his wife, so she will get a portion of this. But there are also other cases. The Rashbam makes a cheshbon how it could be possible that she's a relative to her husband. So in a case where she's a relative to her husband, it's possible that a grandfather passed away and she would also get a portion of this inheritance. That's the case the Mishnah is talking about. Okay, so now the Gemara asks, Pshita, the halacha that it says here regarding the wife, that whatever improvement she brings, everyone shares from it, it's obvious that everyone shares. It's the same like what it said already in the previous part of the Mishnah regarding the sons, the older sons. Why is the Mishnah here saying it regarding the wife? And it says the Gemara, because Ma'al the Tema. I would think to say that no, but by a wife it's different. Kivin the lav darkala mitrach, because for a woman it's not normal for her to go and to do this kind of work out in the field. So afagav the parish. So in such a case, even if she doesn't say clearly, she doesn't specify clearly that she's doing the work for her own gain, for her own profit, command the parish dummy. It's as if she told this to us clearly, just like we said before regarding the Talmud Chacham, that even without saying it clearly, it's understood that he's doing it for himself. By a woman, because it's not her derech to do this kind of work, if she's doing it, it's understood that she's doing it for herself. Kamash Malan, therefore the Mishnah is saying that no, that this work that she's doing is not going to be for herself, unless she specifies clearly, it's going to be shared, the profit that comes out of it is going to be shared by everyone. The next part of the Mishnah, it said, Ve'im Amra, if she announces clearly and says, Ruma sheniach li baili, see what my husband left here, Hareni Yosef v'echeles, whatever I'm doing and whatever I'm eating will be for myself. So then ishbicha la'atzma. So then whatever she brings profit or brings gain over here will be for herself. So again, the Gemara asks on this pshita. What the Mishnah is saying is also obvious. It's the same halacha that I already said in the previous case regarding the sons. Why is it saying it here again regarding this wife or regarding this the mother? And says the Gemara, Ma'od Tema. I would think that over here, even after she makes this announcement, still she does not get the profit for herself, because kivin the shvicha la milsa, because since this is something that people are going to praise her for doing this, the Amri, people are going to say, Katarchi Kama Yasmi, look at her that she's taking care of the Yisayimim, even though she's not obligated to, but she's going out of her way to work, to bring profit for the Yisayimim, for the children here. So Achuli Achla. So she's only making this announcement because she wants to earn the praise of people, but she's not saying it to make clear that she wants it just for herself. So she's meichel, she's happy that everyone and all the children should get the profit. Kamash Malan, therefore the Mishnah is saying, no, if she made this announcement that she's working and she wants to eat and take the profit for herself, she can take it for herself. Kamash Malan, that's the same like by the sons, that she takes it for herself. Okay, the Gemara here brings another statement from Rab Chanina, because it brought before Rab Chanina, so it brings another halacha from Rab Chanina. Amar Rab Chanina said, Hamesi Isha, a person that marries off his son, Lebnei Gadol, he marries off his oldest son to a wife, bebayis, in a house that he built for his son. So in those times, they would build a house for the sake of the chasana. That's where the chasana would be, and that's where the new couple would then live in that room, in that house. That's where they would live. So then automatically the oldest son here that he's marrying off acquires this house to live in it, even without the father saying it clearly, and even without making a kinyan for this, that he's giving it to his son. But this is an automatic thing that the son will be kainer, this house, this room, this place, to live in it after he marries off his son. As we'll see from the continuation of the Gemara, this was a takanas chachamim. In those times that they were masakin, when a person marries off his son, and it's specific, it's not in every case. Specifically in this case, when a person marries off his oldest son to a wife in this house, that now the oldest son gets to live there. He keeps his house to live there. Now v'dafke gadol, but there's a few things here. It's only specifically if it's his oldest son. V'dafke besula, only if he's marrying off to a besula, first marriage for the woman, and v'dafke ishtay rishayna, and it's dafke if it's the first wife of his son. Then it's in such a case that we know that the father that's marrying off his oldest son to a first wife, that there's a special love here and a special interest of the father that he's giving away this house to the son. And v'dafke sheisir rishen. Another thing, it's only if the oldest son, he's actually marrying him off first before other younger brothers. Then we say that it goes to the son. But again, as I said before, this is really based on a takanas chachamim. It is based on the das of the person, that we know that the father that built his house, especially for the chasna of the son, he wants to give it away to him. But it's a takanas chachamim that it becomes his without any kinyan, without the father saying anything specifically. It's understood this is what the father wants, and chachamim say that it becomes his without a kinyan. Okay, now the Gemara will discuss other details regarding this halacha that Rab Chanina said. Pshita, now this is obvious. Yichud le'aviv bayis va'aliyah, if the father designated a house and there's a second floor to the house as well. So bayis kana aliyah loy kana. It's the first floor of the house that was used for the chasana, and that's what was designated for this. So there he only gets the first floor to live in afterwards, but the second floor is not going to be part of this. Now bayis va'achsadra, what's if it's a case if there's a house, but then there's an achsadra. In front of the house, there's another room, which is sort of a room with a roof on it, and then the walls around it are not proper walls. They're like a bunch of windows. It's like sort of a semi-open place. So mahu, that achsadra, is it included in the house, that the son will get this as well? And now, if you're going to say in this case that the achsadra he does get, how about shnei batim, zelef numizeh? If this house has two rooms, outer room, inner room, so does he get both rooms as well? And mahu, what's going to be the halacha in this case? So the Gemara doesn't answer these two questions. Teiku, this remains unanswered. What's included over here and what the father is giving to his son to live in? Okay, now the Gemara asks b'chlal on this entire halacha, this entire concept which I said, that when a father builds a special house for the chasana, that the son gets it automatically to live in it. So Meisvei, the Gemara asks, in a brayse it says, Yichud loy oviv bayis. The father designated a house for the son for the chasana. Or kli bayis, and he also designated for him furniture to use to live in the house. So the brayse says kli bayis kana. The furniture the son acquires. Beisele kana, but the house itself is not kana. So here clearly says that the house that was built, that was made for the chasana, the son does not move in to live in it. Rabbi Yirmiyah answers, Kagoin shehaya oisrei shel aviv munoch sham. If this house that was used now for the chasana, the father was storing things there, and he still left things that he was storing there even when he made the chasana. So because the father left things that he's storing there, so it's understood that the son is the father is not intending for the son to live there to be kind. That's why he left things there. Now, in Nerdoi, they said, based on this, even if the father just left there a small thing, like a dovekat, in this house, it's understood that he doesn't want the son to acquire it. Rav Yehuda Rav Papi Amri, even if you just left there a small bowl of fish, that salted fish, the father left there something very small of himself, so then it's understood that the son should not acquire this place. Marzutre, Marzutra is married off his son, and there was a house that he made where he made the chasana. So he wanted it to be understood that he's not giving away this house for his son. V'talalai sandala. So he hang there a sandal or shoe that it should be clear that he's keeping it for himself. Rav Ashi married off his son. V'talalai ashisha de mishche, and he hung there a cup of oil that it should be clear that he's not giving it away. Now, Omer Marzutra said, Hani tlas mili. There are three different things. Shavinu Rabbanan kehilchase beloy taime. That Rabbanan said that this is a halacha, but it's a halacha which really does not have a proper basis to it, and it still takes effect because the Chachamim were masakin that it should take effect. What are these three halachas? One is this halacha we just said. When a father is building a house for the chasana of his oldest son, with the details that we mentioned before, that the son will acquire it, even though there was no proper kinyan, and even though we can't really be 100% sure that the father wants to give it away, but Chachamim said that we rely on this, that we know that the father loves his oldest child and he wants to give it to him, and it takes effect without a kinyan. So this is baloi taima, because there's no real kinyan here. Idach, the other case is, Rav Yehuda said in the name of Shmuel, a person writes a document and he's writing clearly that he's giving away all his properties to his wife. What's the halach in such a case? We learned it already earlier here in the Masechta. What Chachamim said is he only meant to appoint his wife as a caretaker. She's going to be the manager of all the properties, but he's not giving it away to her. So this is also hilchos b'lei taima, because he's writing a clear document where it says clearly that he's giving it all as a gift to her. But nevertheless, Chachamim come and say that no, it's not a gift. And we say that he probably only meant to appoint her as a caretaker, even though this assumption is not 100%. Could be maybe he did want to give it away to her. But nevertheless, Chachamim say that we don't follow what it says explicitly in this document, and she just becomes a manager. Idach, the third case, which is like a hilchas of taime, the Amar Rav said, Mana li biyotcha. If a person says that you owe me money, Teneu leploini, but instead of giving it to me, you'll pay it to someone else. If this is what's done in the presence of three people, if you say this in front of three people that you want the money that's owed to you to go to someone else, kana, that other person will acquire this rights to collect the loan even without having a proper kinyan. If this is something that's said in front of three people, it takes effect. This is also a hilchas of Chachamim. When it says hilchas of just to clarify, it doesn't mean that Chachamim had no reason for these takanas. They had a reason why they made these takanas. But means that it takes effect without a proper kinyan, without a proper basis. It's a certain assumption that is not 100%, but still Chachamim decided that they want it to take effect, and therefore it takes effect. When you have brothers that are partners, meaning that this is by brothers that there's an inheritance that was not divided yet. So they're all still living in the house of their father, and they're sharing together, and eating and living in one house together. Shenafal echad mem lo umnis. Now one of them was hired out for umnis, to work. As we'll see, the Gemara will explain that this is when the king comes and takes one of the sons to come and work for the king. So in such a case, nafal emtza, whatever he gets paid now by the king is going to be shared to all the brothers, because when the king hires, the king would take people from one house, from another house, and it was he's not hiring this person because of his own personal talents. It was sort of like from every house there was someone that had to work for the king at a certain period of time. So therefore, whatever gain comes from this is really not because of him as an individual. It's because of being a representative of the people living in this house. So whatever he gets paid for this is shared by all the brothers that are still living together in the house. Another halacha here regarding these brothers that are living together, cholav and nisrapa, if he's sick and he has to heal himself and he has to pay doctor bills to heal himself, nisrapa mishalatzma, he has to heal himself from his own cost. He has to pay himself for this. He can't take it from the general funds of the house that they're all sharing together. The Gemara will explain when that applies. Now, we learned in Abraisa that explains what the Mishnah says. Hi umnis, when it says there that one brother went to work. That doesn't mean that he went to work a job for himself. If he's doing his own job, obviously whatever he gets paid is for himself. What it means, as I mentioned before, the umnis hamelech, that's something that he's a representative of everybody in the house, so therefore it goes to everybody. Taner Rabbanon and Abraisa, we learned echad min ha'achin, one of the brothers, sheminu gabai, that was appointed to be a tax collector, or a pulmustus, or to be a police, or a fighter to a war. That's the Rashbam brings another pshat. So imachmas ha'achin, if this is because of the fact that he's just one of the brothers in the house, as I mentioned before, it's because in every house they would take somebody to do that work for the government. So it's government work that you're just a representative of someone in the house. So then la'achin, whatever it is that he gains from this is shared by the brothers. But if he's hired to be a tax collector or whatever else he's hired for is because of his own personal talents, because he's important, because he's very smart, then whatever he makes of this is for himself. So the Gemara asks, what was the chiddush here? If because of the brothers, if he's being hired because of the brothers, so then it goes to the brothers. So pshita, it's obvious. And really, l'chayra, the same question you could ask on the Mishnah, that if he's only being hired as a representative of the house, so it's obvious that he's just whatever he's doing is not because of himself. It's all representing the people in the house. Everybody should get from this. And so the Gemara, like tzricha, it's not needed. Only in the following case, the chiddush here is the chorif tfei, that this one brother that is doing this work, even though he's doing government work as a representative for the people of the house, but he is sharper, he is smarter than everyone else. So I would think that maybe we should say that it's because he's so smart, his intelligence, that's the reason why they chose him. So it's not just a representative of everyone else, but it is his own personal intelligence that therefore he was chosen, and therefore he should keep the profit that he makes. Kamash Malan, therefore it's saying no, that this is a government work, that he's representing everyone else, and the money is shared by everybody. Taner Rabbanan and Abraisa we learned regarding this situation where you have brothers that are still living together in a house after their father passed away. Echad min ha'achin, one of the brothers, shenotel masayim zuz, he takes 200 zuz, and he wants to leave little mid Torah. He wants to go to a yeshiva to go and learn Torah, or little mid umnis, or to go and learn a profession. So the brothers could say to him, if you're living here together with us in the house, yesh l'cha mezainis. So then you could take money and you'll also be fed together with us here in this house. But if you're not living here with us and you want to take money and go separately, so then separately you're not going to be fed. You can't take from the house. So the Gemara asks on this, why? Why shouldn't they give him his fair share that he has to have to eat, whatever it is, wherever he is? Why only if he's living together with them in the house? It says the Gemara, this is a proof to what Rav Huna said. Birchas habayis berube. The bracha that comes to a house is when you have everybody together in the house. When everybody lives together in the house and they share together, so then over there, so you can save more in such a way when everyone is living together. If everybody would be living themselves, so then it comes out much more expensive, that everybody has to pay for themselves. So therefore, if you're living together with us and we're here, we can save on electricity, we can save on a lot of different things when we're all living together in the same house. So therefore, they don't have to give him his share. Okay, so let them make a cheshbon. How much he would have to get if he's now together, and if he's going to be separate, it'll cost more. So you don't have to give him that extra expense if he's going separately, but at least the amount that he deserves to get if he's living together with him, that he should get. So the Gemara says, "Anachanami, you're right. That amount that he would get if he would be together with them, the cheaper price because of what you conserve, what you save, being together, that he does get." Then the Mishnah said, Cholav and Nisrapa, a person, one of the brothers here, they're all living together. If he got sick and he had to pay medical bills, Nisrapa Mishalatzma, he has to pay his medical bills himself. Shalach Rav Mishmei de Rabbi Lo. So he sent to say, what is this? When do we say this? That's only if when he got sick, it was his own personal negligence. Then he's going to have to pay his own medical bills. He can't take from the funds of the inheritance of everybody together. If it's something that he got sick and it was out of his control, then it's rapim and emtza. So then he does take out of the funds that's being shared to heal himself. So in other words, just like you take from those funds to feed themselves, food, clothing, so his health, if it's something which was an einus, also comes from that general fund. Now, what's a case where it's his own negligence and he has to pay for his own bills, for the medical bills? Rab Chanina said, everything is in the hands of heaven regarding a person's health. Chutz mitzinim pachim. Besides for a person that gets sick because of exposure to the cold. Shanem, as the pasuk says, tzinim pachim b'derech ikesh, a person that is cold and he goes in a crooked path, he goes in a place that's not good for him. Shoyme nafshe yirchek mem, a person that guards his soul will stay away from this. So a person that is doing things that causes himself to get sick, he's going to have to pay for his own medical bills, even when he's living with the brothers together and they're all sharing together the funds for everything that they do. Sagt der Heilige Mishnah, ha'achin she'osu miktsasan sheshvinis b'chayei ha'av. Brothers that when the father was still alive, the father had one of the brothers that went to a chasana, and this brother, when he went to this chasana of a friend of the father, he brought sheshvinis. Sheshvinis means an expression of friendship, and you bring a gift to the person that's making a chasana. Now, this concept of sheshvinis is something unique that there was in those times, that when you come to a chasana and you bring this sheshvinis, you bring a gift, it's not really a gift. Really, it's understood that you're giving with the intention that now when this person that's receiving this gift will return to you when you make a chasana, and he comes and joins you with your chasana, he's going to give back to you. Right? So this was a very good arrangement, actually, in order for people to be able to make chasana. So then everyone came to a chasana, everyone participated. Everyone brought money and whatever it is that they participated in the chasana. And then when another person makes a chasana, he comes and helps you and brings you back money. So it's almost like a loan. It's almost like understood that you're paying in order to get back. So over here what happened was, when the father was alive, one of the brothers went and brought money from the father for this person's chasana. Now, chazra sheshvine, so now after the father died, and now this brother that when the father was alive brought this money for the sheshvinis, so now that person that received that gift now is coming back to this brother that's now getting married. Chazra sheshvinis, chazra laemtza. So when he's bringing back the money to give back a gift, who does it go back to? It doesn't just go back to this brother that the father chose to give the gift to that person. It goes back, it's shared by everybody. And the reason is, Sheshvinis nigbis bebezdin. Sheshvinis is not just a gift. Sheshvinis is almost like a loan, that when you give it, it's being given with the intention, with the understanding that he's going to give back. So over here, because the father sent this brother to give. The brother was just one son. He was a representative of the father. He wasn't being sent just for himself. He was a representative of the father, and therefore now when it's being given back, it's giving back. It's almost like collecting a loan that was owed to the father. If this is like a loan that was owed to the father, so then when it comes back, it goes to all the brothers, just like any loan that's being paid up, that goes to everybody. Avol, however, if you send to your friend a gift, kade yayin, kade shemi, you send to him jugs of wine or oil, just a gift. That's according to the Rashbam Shvat. Stam sending a gift, or according to other Rishonim, even if this is sheshvinis for a chasana, but you didn't send money. It was certain foods like wine or oil that you send to participate in the chasana. So this is something where ein nigmin bebezdin. This is something that to collect the return, that the one that you gave to should return to you. This is something that you can't collect in a bezdin. This is just simply a gift. So therefore, a gift which the father sent with one brother to give. So now when it comes back, it's not like a collection of a loan. So when it's given back, who does it go to? It goes to this one brother that brought this gift. So it goes back to him. It doesn't go back le'emtza. This is not like a loan that's being collected for the father, for the loan of the father that will go back to everybody. Okay, so this is the simple pshat of the Mishnah, but as we'll see, the Gemara is going to ask it from a brayse that says differently, and therefore the Gemara will change the pshat of the Mishnah. But Amini, the Gemara asks from what it says in the brayse says as follows: Shalach le aviv sheshvinis. The father sent one of the sons when he's alive to deliver this gift by a chasana, money, to kishi chayzeres. So now after the father dies, when this person that received the gift comes now to give back a gift, when this brother's getting married, chayzeres loy. So then, who does it go back to? Who gets back this gift? It goes back now to this son that brought the gift. Now he's getting married. It goes back to him. It doesn't go back. It's not like a loan that's paid that it goes to shared by all the brothers. Now, nishtalcha la'aviv. If when the father was alive, it was the other way around. There was a sheshvinis. There was a gift that was brought to the father because the father made a chasana. Now, so then sheshvinis keshi chayzeres mina emtza. So now, if that person that gave a sheshvinis, this gift for the chasana, for the father when he was alive, when you have to return out the gift to that person that gave the gift after the father passed away, where do you take the funds to return that gift? That comes mina emtza. That comes from the funds of all the brothers. But the question is, you clearly hear here in the Braisa, in the first case, that if the father sent one son to give the gift when he was alive, so then when they pay back, when that person pays back that gift, it goes to that son. It doesn't go le'emtza. So this is a question on our Mishnah. So the Gemara gives here three different answers. Amar Abbasi, Amar Rabbi Yechanan, Kitna Nami Masnisin. The way to understand our Mishnah really is saying a halacha, which was the second case of the Braisa. Nishtalcha le'aviv tnan. The Mishnah is not talking about the case where, when the father was alive, he sent his son to give a sheshvinas. The Mishnah is actually talking about a case where, when the father was alive, the father received this sheshvinas. He received this gift of the chasana, and then, like it said in the Braisa, when you're going to have to return that gift from the father's assets after he passed away, it comes from the emtza, from everybody. That's what our Mishnah was talking about. So now the Gemara explains, how could this fit into the language of the Mishnah? In the Mishnah it says that the father made some of the brothers, or one of the brothers, to deliver a sheshvinis to someone. That's what it says in our Mishnah. It doesn't say in our Mishnah that the case over here was that when the father was alive, he received a sheshvinis. It says in our Mishnah that he appointed a brother to give a sheshvinis. So how could you put this into the words of our Mishnah? So the Gemara says, according to this answer of Rabbi Yechanan, Tni limik tzasan. You have to read in the Mishnah limik tzasan, meaning that the father made a chasana of one brother, and their father received the sheshvinis. So you have to the limik tzasan means for the sake of one of the brothers that the father got the sheshvinis. The Gemara asks again, but what does it say afterwards in the Mishnah? Chazra sheshvinis katani. But the Mishnah uses the term chazra sheshvinis, that now after the father dies, the person that received the sheshvinis is giving back a gift now. So, but what we just said, the point over here is not that coming back to them, adarabah. The point over here, according to this pshat of Rabbi Yechanan, is that they have to give a sheshvinis. When the father was alive, he got the sheshvinis, and you have to give back. So the Gemara again says that hachikama, the way to read our Mishnah is chazra ligbais that when that person that came and gave the sheshvinis when the father was alive, and now he's coming back to collect the sheshvinis from the father's assets, because he's now making a chasana, nigmis me'emtza. He collected from everybody, not from one brother. That's the pshat of Rabbi Yechon in our Mishnah. So according to this, our Mishnah is talking about a case where when the father was alive, the sheshvinis was collected by the father, not that the father gave the sheshvinis when he was alive. Another pshat, Rabasi said, there's no contradiction from the Braisa. It depends what the case is. Kan bistam. If the father sends one of the sons to go and give a sheshvinis for someone when he's alive, and he didn't specify, he didn't come and say, I want dafke this son to go. The father said, I need someone to deliver the sheshvinis for this chasana. And one son came and took it and went. So then in such a case, we say that when after the father dies, and now that person's coming to give back a sheshvinis, what he owes, so it goes back to everybody, because the father didn't specify that dafka this son should go. But kan b'mefarish. But then the Braisa here that said that it goes back to this one son is because the father specified that it's this son, that I'm giving it to him, that he should go and deliver this sheshvinis. So then after the father dies, when that person is going to give back the sheshvinis, it goes specifically to this son. Kedetanya, as we learned in the Braisa, shalach la'aviv sheshvinis, the father sends the sheshvinis, kashi chezeres, when it's returned after the father dies, chezeres loy. It goes back to this son. Shalach aviv sheshvinis stam. If the father sends the sheshvinis and he didn't appoint dafka this one son, he said stam, that he wants to deliver the sheshvinis for the chasana. Kisha chezeres. If it's returned after the father dies, chezeres laemtza. It goes back, and it goes back to all brothers. It doesn't go back specifically to this son because the father didn't specify this son. Shmuel says another pshat in our Mishnah. Hacha. What is our Mishnah talking about? B'yavam askinam. We're talking about a case of a yavam. Now, Yavam over here means that the father, when he was alive, sent one son to deliver this sheshvinis. Now, so like the Braisa said, if the father died and that person wants to give back the sheshvinis, it would go to that son. But what our Mishnah is talking about is that that son that the father sent passed away, and now there's a Yavam, and now the Yavam inherits everything that his brother would get, right? So the brother died, and now the Yavam wants to take whatever the son should have got. Another brother that inherits from his brother. So this Yavam will not get this sheshvinis that the person's coming to pay back. Why is that? Because the halacha by she'einu noitel beroi kebemuchsik. The halacha by a Yavam is, even though a Yavam, this brother that has to marry the wife of this brother that passed away without children, he inherits everything from his brother. But the rights to collect the sheshvinis for himself, that he does not collect. Because the halacha by a yavam is similar to the halacha by a b'chayr. It's learned out from a b'chayr. A b'chayr doesn't get a double inheritance from anything that the father does not have in his possession when he passed away. So too by the yavam, he does not take anything that was supposed to go to the brother if the brother didn't have it yet when he was alive. So over here, this sheshvinis that tak is supposed to go to the brother does not go to this yavam because it wasn't there when the brother was alive. Now the Gemara asks on this, what's the pshat on this? Maklal, from this you understand the idoch mishalem, that the other person that's returning the sheshvinis, he has to return this sheshvinis even though this person died. And now it's a brother that wants to take the sheshvinis. But the question is, why does he bichlal have to give back the sheshvinis? As I explained before, how does this concept of sheshvinis work? Someone makes a chasana, you come and you give him money to help him for the chasana. Then when you make a chasana, he owes you now, he has to return to you. But the question over here is, so over here, if this person died, so then why does he have to return back the sheshvinis if this person is not even alive anymore, so he shouldn't have to give him back? You gave him sheshvinis, but now he doesn't have to give you back. If this son, this brother now, that was the one that delivered the sheshvinis, passed away, he shouldn't have to give him any sheshvinis because he's not here anymore. Miloi Tanya, didn't we learn in a Braisa regarding a similar case like this? Mokim shenago lahachse kedushin. So this is talking about a case of a person that was makadosh a woman, the first stage of marriage, he was makadosh her, but then he passed away before nisuim, before the second stage of marriage, before he got a chance to bring his to the full stage of marriage, he passed away. So now, in a place where the minig is lahachse kedushin, that whatever was given for the kedushin, let's say the ring for the Kiddushin, which has a lot of value to it. Now, so in such a case, such a place that is, where the minig is that you give it back if they never got fully married, because so then machzirin, you give it back. In a place where the minig is that you don't give it back, machzirin, then you do not return this. Now, V'omer Rav Yosef bar Abba, Omer Mar Ukve, Omer Shmuel, Loishanu el shemesahi. This whole halacha that we just said is in what kind of a case? Where a person was mekadesh a woman, and then she passed away before they got a chance to finish off the whole marriage. He should get fully married to her. She passed away. So then in such a case, it will depend on the minig, what happens now to the ring. Do you give it back to the chassan or not? The Mefarshim here explained that if a person is mekadesh a woman with just a shava pruta, it doesn't matter if she dies or he dies, doesn't matter what happens. He was mekadesh with that shava pruta, she keeps that shava pruta. But we're talking about when he was mekadesh more than just a shava pruta. He gave her a ring, let's say, which was worth much more. It's understood that he only wants her to keep that ring if he's actually going to end up marrying her. But here that she died before the nisuin, so here in such a case, it'll depend on the minig, what you do with it. What do you do with the ring? Do you give it back to the chassan or not? However, now meis hu, if it's the husband that died here, then ein machzirin. Then you definitely don't give it back to the inheritors of this husband. Why? My time, because because here the woman will say, "Tnuli ba'ili v'asmachimai." I'm here, I'm alive. Why are you taking away the ring from me? I'm here. Give me my husband, and I'll be with him. So in such a case, she will keep the ring. If so, the Gemara says, "Hachanami" here as well. Name it "Tnuli sheshvini v'asmachimai." How can we say that the Mishnah is talking about a case that the father sent one of the sons to give a sheshvinis for someone, and now after the father died, that son passed away. So, and now we're saying that that person that received the sheshvinis in the father's lifetime has to give back sheshvinis to a brother, to a yavam. Why is he giving anything back? This person is not alive anymore. Rav Yosef, so Rav Yosef explains, the case of Eris, that actually that person that received the sheshvinis from this person when the father was alive, he came to his chasana, he had a chasana with Shivasimei Mishta, and this person was there by the chasana, but then didn't get a chance to return the sheshvinis to give his share that he's supposed to give back, until this person dies. And now, who does that money go to? And that's what it was saying in our Mishnah. In such a case, the money will not go to the yavam, because the yavam does not take beroi kibbumuchzik. In such a case, as where the Mishnah was saying, that the money will go to all the brothers together.